Hi guys, if any of you have an interest in seeing this look, it is a pin-up look with a winged liner and red lip, Marilyn Monroe inspired, for hooded eyes, so please guys stay tuned. Okay, so as I said, this tutorial is the pin-up winged liner look, and it's for people with puffy or hooded eyes, which are the good old eyes that I have. I just couldn't really find one on YouTube that explained and made it easy for myself to understand. I know I've already done here, but I will do a demo of this look afterwards, how I did it and stuff like that, so stay tuned for that. So as you can see, I have my brows and my foundation done. I don't have any contouring, I don't have any highlighting, nothing like that. So first thing that I started off with was a little bit of Nivea Soft Moisturizer. This is the one that I'm always raving about. I have it up on my blog, which is glittertailandheels.com. I just poured a little bit of this out onto my palette and I buffed it into my skin with this brush. Then after that, when I had given the moisturizer just a couple of seconds to dry into my skin. I do have quite dry skin, so the Nivea Soft Moisturizing Cream really is a thick moisturizer, but it suits my skin perfectly. So then I went in with the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age, the Eraser Eye. I went in with that one and it's in the shade Light. And I just went around the places that I have redness. I had a spot here, I'm not sure if you can still see it. I had redness on my cheeks, and I went above in my forehead where I had a bit of redness as well, and down my nose. And I just literally went back in with the same brush and just buffed it out. I didn't do a huge amount of blending, just buffed it out so that there wasn't any lines left. So then I went in, as I always do for my dewy finish, and I went in with my L'Oreal Lumi Magique base. And I did the same thing. I put this onto my palette, I dipped my brush, the bristles of the brush, into it, and I buffed it into the skin, and it gave a really beautiful instant glow. It's absolutely gorgeous, even if you just want, for someday going out, you don't want to put on loads of makeup, to put on your Nivea moisturizing cream, your little bit of your concealer wherever you need concealer, and your little bit of Lumi Magique. That would be kind of a light coverage, and right now I don't need full coverage, it's just a little bit of light coverage that I wanted. But for the video, when you do have studio lights shining on you, you do need kind of a more full coverage, so that is what I went with. And what I used for my foundation was a little bit different to my foundation routine, where I was using the MAC Studio Sculpt. I actually used these foundations. The Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-hour foundation with the Comfort Serum, and I used it in 3 pumps of the whiter one, which is the Ivory 100, and 1.5 pumps of the 303, which is the colour True Nude. I mixed them together on my palette. As you can see, I mixed way too much, and I put them on, like dipped my finger in, patted it onto my skin, and the brush that I used was this toothbrush shaped brush that I got from eBay, and absolutely brilliant for buffing into the skin, gives you a really nice airbrushed finish. Really happy with it. It was the first time that I had used it for foundation. Okay, so then I went straight on to my brows. First of all, I brushed through my brows with this side of the eyebrow brush, and that was just to get off any foundation or anything that was stuck in them. Then I went in with the Inglots 120R, which is the rainbow eyeshadows that they have, which is a 3-in-1, and I went with the black in that, and I'll just show you that inside in my palette. And it's this one up here, and I went with the darkest one up here. It's the exact same as Inglots 391, I think is the number. Yeah, Inglots 391, which is a jet black. And I just went in, and what I done was I drew a line underneath. I extended this brow. This brow actually finishes about here, so I extended it out. Then I went above, I drew it above, I filled in between, and then I just brushed upwards. Did the same on this side. I did have to go a little bit higher on this side than above my brow, and a little bit lower below my brow, because this one is much thinner and doesn't have as much of an arch as this one has. When I had that powder placed on my brows, I went in and I brushed through them again with this side of the eyebrow brush, and that was just to kind of disperse the powder a little bit, because there was some hard harsh lines because it is a jet black. Okay, so next I went in when I had my foundation done. The next thing that I do when I'm doing a winged liner pin-up kind of a look, I always do my liner first. I find this is easier for me because I find with winged liner I struggle when it's freehand, so I use the tape method. Now if any of you don't know what the tape method is, I will be doing an extra video in a couple of weeks maybe on the tape method for winged liner, but I will kind of give you a quick run through of this while I'm at it. So what I do is I get my normal household sellotape, I take off a bit about that length, not a lot. I place it underneath my lashes going upwards, and then I get a second one the same length. I split it down the middle like so, and then I use this one to go along the top of my lash line and place it down like that. So when I have my tape placed on both eyes, I go in with this brush. You can see that it's quite small but not tiny at all by any means, and it's from the Jessup brush set that I got one time. And I actually just go in with my Inglot number 77 gel liner. So then I just go in and I fill it in. You don't have to be any bit precise when you have the tape on, and when you pull off the tape you have the perfect winged liner. So anyone that is struggling with doing the winged liner, there is the tape method, and it's the method that I find easiest. You can get stencils, but I find when you have hooded or puffy eyes like I do, then it just doesn't, the stencils don't sit right on my eye. So that is the end of my winged liner. I will do a tutorial if you girls want it, all about how I do the tape method, where I place my tape, all that kind of thing. So let me know in the comments below if you do want one. So when we have the winged liner, we have our foundation and we have our brows done, we are going to go in with our shadows. So when I'm doing a winged liner look, I really, for a pin-up look especially, I really don't want to do a lot of colour or anything, so I'm going to go straight in with my shadows. Okay, so the first shadow that I'm going to go in with is from my HD contour powders from Inglot, and I'm going to go in with this colour here, which is 503. The brush that I'm going to use is the Emily 224 brush, which is the dupe for MAC 224. I'm going to put this in my crease and a little bit above my crease, because if anyone with hooded eyes knows, when you're putting in a crease colour you should always drag it above your natural crease, because your natural crease is hidden when your eyes are open. And because this liner as well, I know that a lot of girls will kind of be like, oh my god, she's going to smudge her liner. This liner is waterproof and smudge proof, so that's what's brilliant about the Inglot 77. It's brilliant. You can see the way it's given that depth to my eyes. You're going to do the same thing and you're going to go underneath. I'm going to go in with the darker colour here, which is 507 from the HD Inglot Sculpt powders, and I'm going to just get the smallest bit of that, and I'm just going to put this here just to darken up a little bit, not all the way into the tear duct or anything like that. We're just going on the very outside. It just gives it a little bit more depth. The same colour here again on the other eye. Just take a small bit and just kind of put it here on the outside, just like that. It just gives another little bit of depth to the eye. Now as I said, I am going to keep the eye quite neutral on the top, but there's nothing stopping you going a little wild on the bottom, so I'm going to add a little bit of this colour down the bottom here to make this a bit darker, but we are going to change up the colour on the bottom in a second. The next colour that I'm going in with is a shadow from Kiko, and it's like a reddy orange, and it's 207. The brush that I'm using for this is this shaped kind of a brush. Excuse the tan on my hands, it's actually developing still, but it's from the 6+ range, and what I'm going to do is just dip this into it, and I'm putting this underneath. I'm going to get the same brush that I used for my crease, and I'm going to get the tiniest little bit of this colour, tap it off, and I'm just going to use it to disperse the colour a little bit more. I like it to be very blend it out on the bottom.